everybody. I appreciate everybody being here today. At this time, we'd like to call this meeting to order. Clerk Barger, if you will, please call the roll.
Master Combs.
Here.
Master Barger.
Here.
Master Tudor.
Here.
Master Bodkin.
Present.
Judge Stowe.
Here, at this time, I'm going to invite Brother Anthony Lowry from God's Outreach to come up and lead us in a word of prayer. I appreciate you being willing to do it. I know it was short notice, but I was glad to see your smiling face out in the crowd this morning and thought you'd be the perfect person to lead us in a word of prayer.
Thank you. It's a privilege. Most gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, we love you, Father. We thank you for this wonderful day that you've given us, Lord, and for the privilege, oh God, to come even to this session, Lord, and trust you for all things, Father. We know and realize, according to your word, that your blessing is upon the order of government that you put in place, and we speak blessing, God, upon these that have chosen to serve in these offices, God, and trust you, Lord, that you would lead them, oh God, and accomplish what needs to be accomplished here, Lord, in other meetings, Lord, all that we do, Father, and we give you praise and we give you glory in your wonderful name, Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Sheriff, if you will, lead us in the pledge.
If you would please stand, face their flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated.
Thanks, Sheriff. Next, guys, on the agenda is approval of our meeting minutes from our October the 8th, 2019 fiscal court meeting. It was a regular scheduled meeting. At this time, I need a motion and a second to approve those minutes, please.
So move. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, call the roll, please.
Master Combs.
Yes.
Master Barger.
Yes.
Master Tudor.
Yes.
Master Bodkin.
Yes.
Judge Stowe.
Yes. Next, our treasurer's report. Good morning, Glenn.
Good morning. How are you all?
Good.
I did put in the Dropbox the financial statement for going through September 30th, 2019. Our revenues and expenditures for going through September 30th, 2019. Our general fund revenues are at 11.2%. Our expenditures are at 25%. Our road fund revenues are at 64.7%. Our expenditures are at 21.3%. Our jail fund revenues are at 26.5%, and our expenditures are at 29.2%. LGA revenues are at 20.6%, and our expenditures are 0. CSEP, our revenues are at 1.4%, and our expenditures are at 1.8%. 911, our revenues are at 25.9%, and our expenditures are at 19.2%. Our health fund, our revenues are at 17.5%, and our expenditures are 9.3%. To give you a little update on the jail numbers, as of this morning, we have 520 total. We have 357 in-house. 35 of those are state inmates. We have 102 out in other counties, and we have 61 on home incarceration. And our line item for contracted inmate housing, after this court, we have exactly $70,589 left. It's costing us approximately $100,000. With 100 inmates out, right now is what we're averaging, about 105 inmates. It's costing us about $100,000 a month. So by next court, we will have to transfer for out of the reserves in the general fund over to the jail fund.
Does that go through the end of September on that?
That is not
Have we
all.
gotten bills all the way through September?
No, that is not all the bills of September. So without calling each one of them to get what their bill is, the ones that haven't sent us last court, I had done that and told you how much was still needed to be paid for August. We didn't call every jail again to do that, but no, we do not have all the bills in for September. So by the time we get all the bills in for September, that $70,000 would be gone. So it's going to it cost us $400,000 in the first 3 months of this year.
The jail that the state's gonna take over, is that in Prestonsburg, Sayersville, where's it at?
I'm not sure.
Wheelwright,
Wheelwright.
Larry, but it's near Prestonsburg.
Well, are they gonna have some beds for like us? Or, I know it's gonna be for other counties too, but I don't, how many beds will they have?
In the big picture, that's a drop in the bucket. That's a 650 bed facility. Right now, there's 11,000 state inmates in county jails. It's a drop in the bucket.
Do you think?
But they would only take our state inmates anyway.
Well, I know it, but you said we had.
We have 35, but
35.
that's a pretty low number, really. I mean, you're constantly going to have probably 30 to 35 in
Well,
there.
it fluctuates.
Well, because they're always going to court, and they're always turning in from county inmates into state inmates as they go to court, and then they come back, and then we have to wait for them to be moved, and they could sit here a while before they're
I wish
moved.
the governor would've come here and took this one over instead of that one.
I don't think that's going to happen, but it's a
Well,
nice
They
idea.
don't even know where Madison County is when it comes to jails, correct?
No.
Just a question.
So I think it brings up a good point too about just looking for the future. So starting November 1st, we're going to have 8 more months of this fiscal year.
Yes. Well, if we keep averaging what we're averaging now, of at least 800,000 plus to come up with.
Okay.
Somebody have any questions?
Well, when we run out of money, what do we do? And you know, with that 100,000 a month, it won't be long, we will be without.
It's coming out of our reserves.
That's
So
what I'm saying,
every month
so-
our reserves are going down.
I know we talked about this. I think, Larry, you were gone a couple meetings ago. And, you know, just trying to come up with some different ideas to where we do come up with it, you know. And I'm all ears, you know. I'm open for any kind of suggestions or some discussion points. We can, you know, we can look into things and what we can do, what we can't do.
Judge, just a point of interest, have been meeting with several different entities, one being a diversion company that, and actually I've looked at 2 or 3 different ones that would actually divert inmates from the court from going to jail. That's at a reduced cost, about half the cost of incarceration. I hope to have some numbers and bring a report to you in the next couple of weeks. Also, I'm meeting with the National Institute of Corrections that's gonna actually help me do a review of our entire judicial program. Everything that impacts the count at the jail, which is the judges and pretrial and all of the entities that have an impact on it.
Okay. Is there any ideas of how long it would take to get those kinds of things implemented?
The diversion program, as I understand it, could almost start immediately. The NIC, whatever information they bring us, I've been trying to get them here for 6 months, and they're just now beginning to start with some phone conversations and probably do an on-site visit in the next month.
Yeah.
Is the diversion program being used anywhere else?
It's almost exclusively right now being used in Bola County, and they've had great success with it. Bola County is very similar to Madison County in jail size and numbers. They're a 190 bed facility. 3 years ago, they had over 400 inmates in it, and today they've got 240.
Is that a private firm or is
It's
that?
a private firm and it's a fee firm, Larry, but generally the fee is about half of the incarceration rate. If it costs me $30 to keep an inmate, they'll do it for about 15.
Does that include the medical and everything?
Everything.
Well, you don't,
Yeah, I am.
thank you.
But ultimately, you know, when you look at the numbers that Glenna just, you know, the hurtful number there, and all those are ultimately county inmates, haven't been sentenced except 35.
Mhm.
So all those are either serving a local county sentence, which is probably very few, I would say, or they're still in that judicial process of going through.
Right,
their
most of
courts.
anybody that's serving on a county sentence would be a misdemeanor, which means it would be in district court, and if they're serving a county sentence, they're on home incarceration.
Right.
We don't sentence anyone hardly at all to jail on the
Yeah,
misdemeanor
right.
case.
And currently, in the last 2 to 3 weeks, our numbers has actually gone down, thanks in part to the rocket dockets that you instituted, and also with the working with the Commonwealth Attorney and the court. And they've reduced and changed some bonds that has reduced our count by about 30.
So in the meantime, you know, I mean, these are discussions we've gotta have because we gotta be proactive when it comes, as the financial court of the county, we have to be proactive in making sure that we have money to pay for these issues that we're that we're financially obligated to pay, that we shall pay for by KRS. And we can't wait till we run out of money till then we implement something. I mean, that was sort of all part of being proactive with this property tax increase.
And you know, there's no talk whatsoever in Frankfurt about jails. Not even on the agenda to talk about. You know, I don't know where they're coming from. Of course, I know where they're coming from. They said, well, the counties are responsible. Well, I guess we are when they're out. It just don't make good sense to me. Even in debates, you don't even hear it mentioned.
Yeah.
You hear retirement and stuff like that, but you never hear anything about jails. Last night in Lieutenant, never was brought up.
And ultimately, I think that it would be smart for us to, you know, I think it's great that we're all working on different potential solutions, whether they're short-term or long-term solutions to help stop the bleeding. But we also have to be prepared, and so we really have to have some serious discussions about, you know, where are we going to come up with, you know, $800,000 to $1 million. I estimate it being approximately $1 million in true cost because the money she's just talking about is just strictly paying rent to another facility. We have transport expenses that you have to, that is included in that. You have medical expenses, potentially that are included in that. You have overtime pay for our own deputies if there is medical, hospital stays and things like that when they're in another county. So, yeah, I mean, it's something we gotta just talk about in the next upcoming meetings. So you all can be thinking about different options that we may have. You might have some ideas that we can discuss. We're continuing to, in the office and with our team, to continuing to brainstorm and come up with maybe some different alternatives and solutions. So, anything else on that?
So is that something that we need a work session for? Something
Could be,
short
yeah. If that's,
add to the agenda?
yeah.
You know, it looks like that's something that can take enough time, given that there's maybe 3 or 4 or 5 different things that we might be able to do, that it's probably a work session item, just in my opinion.
Yep. How about maybe with Steve, you know, depending on what he's working on and, you know, some of the different options that we have as a county government, maybe we can sort of coordinate those to where maybe we do that in a work session. Does that sound good to you guys?
Yeah.
Is that good?
I think Steve
Is
mentioned
that
some
good with you,
things.
Steve?
You bet.
Steve mentioned some things this morning that we weren't aware of, and I think, you know, we get together and share those ideas and expand on those, and we
Yeah.
come up with some solutions here.
Judge might also mention the meeting we had in Berea the other day.
Yeah, the Criminal Justice Commission. Yeah. Yeah, we did. We had a meeting the other day with 2 mayors and just to discuss the criminal justice reform is really what we were really discussing in the topic. And we invited one of my colleagues at CACO down to sort of kind of help us understand, look at it from a viewpoint. He's the Jefferson County Circuit Court Clerk. And they have this criminal justice commission that's been formed for years that allows a lot of the local elected officials to come together. Mayor Fisher's part of it, which is there's citizens involved, a lot of the judicial branch, county attorneys involved, the judges of all the different courts are involved. And so it was really a good idea of potentially something that we can put together. And we're in the process of starting to set up some of those meetings with some of those other elects just to give them, get their thoughts on it at this time. So I know we talked to Jeannie about it, and so that's where that part is right now. And so maybe by the time we schedule this work session, maybe we'll have had some of those meetings and see if that's going to get off the ground or not, too. So we can update at that time. So, thanks, Glenna. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Good conversation. First order of business today, guys, is to amend the agenda. We added the proclamation for the Rotary Club, and we're going to do that in between the executive session and the second reading of ordinance 1916. So if you all approve in amending the agenda today, I need a motion and a second, please.
So move.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. No discussion. Call the roll, please.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Botkin?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next is an executive session to discuss a legal matter. At this time, I need a motion and a second to go into executive session about a legal matter.
Make that motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. If no discussion, call the roll, please.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Botkin?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Larry made the motion. John seconded to come out of executive session. At this time, call the roll, please.
Master Botkin?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. No action at this time was taken in this it was a legal update. Thank you. Next on the agenda is our proclamation. Mr. Seals. Hi, buddy. Good morning. I'll ask you to come up to the podium as I read the Rotary International Proclamation. Whereas Rotary is a global network of 1.2 million neighbors, friends, leaders, and problem solvers who unite and take action to create lasting change in communities across the globe. And whereas the Rotary motto, service above self, inspires members to provide humanitarian service, follow high ethical standards, and promote goodwill and peace in the world. And whereas Rotary in 1985 launched Polio Plus, and in 1988 helped establish the Global Polio Eradication Initiative, which today includes the World Health Organization, U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the UNICEF, and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, to immunize the children of the world against polio. And whereas polio cases have dropped by 99.9% since 1988, and the world stands on the threshold of eradicating the disease, and whereas to date Rotary has contributed more than $1.9 billion and countless volunteer hours to protecting more than 2.5 billion children in 122 countries. And whereas Rotary is working to raise an additional $50 million per year, which would be leveraged for maximum input by an additional $100 million annually from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And whereas these efforts are providing much needed operational support, medical staff, laboratory equipment, and educational materials for health workers and parents. And whereas in addition, Rotary has played a major role in decisions by donor governments to contribute more than $8 billion to the effort. And whereas there are over 85 Rotary members in 2 clubs throughout this Madison County of Kentucky that sponsor service projects to address such critical issues as poverty, disease, hunger, illiteracy, and the environment in their local community and abroad. Now therefore I, Reagan Taylor, by the power vested in me as Madison County Judge Executive, and on behalf of the county magistrates and citizens of Madison County, do hereby proclaim October 22nd, 2019 as World Polio Day in Madison County, and encourage all citizens to join me and Rotary International in the fight for a polio-free world.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you
Mr.
all
Seals.
so much for that. We have two clubs in the county, Berea Rotary Club and the Richmond Rotary Club. And there's only 2 countries now that have polio, and it's Afghanistan and Pakistan. And just those two countries makes it very difficult to complete that. To be polio-free, a country has to be 3 years polio-free. Nigeria's got 1 year left of that. And so polio is, Rotary's been working on polio for over 40 years. And if you give $1 to the Rotary International Foundation, Bill Gates gives 2 more. So it's really a pretty neat thing. Now, we invite you all to this afternoon at 5:30 to 7. If you want to drop by the local library here, Baptist Health is supplying some refreshments, and we're going to have a little celebration. And again, I just want to thank you so much for this, and
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mike, I got a question for you.
Sure.
Do you see a problem with so many parents rejecting the vaccine? Is that gonna cause a,
Well, that has to do mainly with measles here. In Afghanistan, mostly women nurses have been murdered trying to protect children there, which is a real shame. And yes, in those countries, they have a hard time getting to people that need that vaccine. Just have to keep plugging away at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a special on TV the other night on Afghanistan about that.
It's good work. Proud to be with Rotary. Invite you all to any of our Rotary meetings. It's at the Golden Corral. You can eat real well there. We meet every Wednesday at 12 o'clock. And welcome to join us.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. Give you the proclamations.
Thank you. Oh, that's great.
Appreciate you, buddy.
Take care.
Thanks for
Thank
being
you.
here.
Can I get a picture of you?
Yeah, sure, good. You want to do it formal?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we're gonna put it on Facebook. Okay. Take one more. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Debbie's our vice president. Well, here you go. Thank you so much.
Thank you, buddy.
Y'all have a great day.
Thank you. All right, good. Thanks, guys. Next is our second reading of ordinance 1916. This is an interlocal agreement between Madison County and Scott County on our government cloud.
Good morning, guys.
Hi, buddy.
Do you want to read the second ordinance again? The second reading of it?
Yeah, it's short. I think so. It'll be good.
Golly. Sorry.
Lordy mercy.
An ordinance
I don't know why
relating-
y'all ask. You know, I mean, why
You're
do
the
you
boss.
ask?
You're in charge.
Yeah.
I'll read it.
Yeah.
You say read it.
You
I'll
would,
read it.
you would think. Yeah.
An ordinance relating to an interlocal agreement between Madison County Fiscal Court and the Scott County Fiscal Court for the use of the Kentucky County's government cloud. Whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court desires to offer data center services to Kentucky counties to promote regionalism by providing secure, reliable, and cost-effective data center access. And whereas the intention of the Madison County Fiscal Court is to operate the data center under the name of Kentucky County's government cloud powered by Madison County. And whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court has a facility that meets the specifications of a Tier 3 data center by providing 99.982% availability. And whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court facility has the appropriate power requirements, cooling requirements, technological infrastructure, and technical staff to operate the data center. And whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court will charge for the services at the rates listed in the bill of services signed by both entities. Now therefore be it ordained by the Fiscal Court of the County of Madison, Commonwealth of Kentucky, that it enter into an agreement for data center services with the terms of the agreement outlined in Attachment 1, Interlocal Agreement for Kentucky County's Government Cloud between Madison County Fiscal Court and Scott County Fiscal Court. This ordinance shall become effective on the date of the second reading and adoption.
Thanks, Chris. Very, very well done.
It's better than the first time. I gotta keep telling myself to slow down. Does
Guys,
anybody have any questions?
if y'all approve in second reading of ordinance 1916 on the interlocal agreement between Madison County and Scott County, I need a motion and a second, please.
so move.
Second.
So I have a motion and a second. At this time, is there any discussion? Is there any questions from anybody?
Just appreciate what you do.
Thanks, sir.
It really is a great opportunity for the region, really.
Absolutely.
And post CSET, but that's what's to me is the most exciting about this of having that that unified approach, but also helping fund
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
infrastructure that's been invested in Madison County for years to come. So,
Yep. It's already gaining a lot of attention from other entities that are interested in stuff, offering data back up into our center or doing what Scott County is doing, is hosting it. So we haven't even got the first one on board yet, and we've already got other people interested. So it's a hot topic for people. IT is expensive, and if you can share those resources amongst our other counties, it's just good for all of us. So this is good business, and we look forward to getting this off the ground. It'll probably be December before they're actually operational off of it.
Right.
But we will bring back an update as soon as the first one is out and doing business with us.
Chris, we're just honored to have somebody with your expertise in this field that can lead the way, and you know, technology is the gateway of the future, and the sooner we get on board with it and get other counties grouping with us, I mean, more technology and information we can pull together, better off, and I appreciate your effort in this.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, and thank you guys for allowing me to have a team that has the same skill sets that I do. They offer a lot to bring this project to fruition, so I appreciate all of them getting this off the ground. I appreciate you guys too.
at this time, with it being a second reading of an ordinance, is there any public comment at this time? Everything was advertised properly. So, all right, seeing none, we have a motion and a second. If there is no more discussion, let's call the roll, please.
Mr. Combs?
Yes.
Mr. Berger?
Yes.
Mr. Tudor?
Yes.
Mr. Bucking?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. Next is the first reading of ordinance 1917. Again, first reading of ordinance 1917. This is a budget amendment on Kit Carson Commons. You all are aware of that project. That is we're the CDBG grant holder, I'll say, of that project. We just approved Fahy being our grant writer administrator last court. And this is a budget amendment because there's going to be about $480,000 that is going to be coming in through the CDBG grant that is going to go towards that project. And Glenna will need a line item in the budget for that to be able to move that money through. So if y'all approve in the first reading of ordinance 1917 on this budget amendment for the Kit Carson Commons CDBG grant project, I need a motion and a second, please.
So move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on it? Seeing none, call the roll, please.
Mr. Berger?
Yes.
Mr. Tudor?
Yes.
Mr. Bucking?
Yes.
Mr. Combs?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next is a resolution 1926. This is God's outreach deed transfer. Guys, doing a little bit of research on a lot of our properties and stuff, a lot of properties that are in our name. One of the things that we have found when we were doing that research was God's outreach. In 2008, 9, I guess, 2009, that project was done by a different administration, and the county was involved in that, and the property had to be in the county's name for 10 years, I think, and then we could transfer. It was part of the grant.
Anytime after October 13th of 2019.
Anytime after October 13th,
But don't scare.
2019. So yeah, that's perfect. That's good. This will be the next court after that. So it was good timing, I guess, in us doing that research, Colleen and the staff doing that research on our properties. So at this time, I would ask the court's permission and the court to approve resolution 1926 to allow us to transfer the property where God's outreach is on East Irvin Street over to God's outreach. And I'm sorry, but I have to charge $1. That was all part of the agreement. And so we need to do that transfer and allow me to sign the deed over to them.
Make that motion.
So I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion, guys? Seeing none, call the roll, please.
Mr. Tudor?
Yes.
Mr. Bucking?
Yes.
Mr. Combs?
Yes.
Mr. Berger?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Thank you, guys. Do y'all want to get together to sign this? Y'all want to do it afterwards? Or? Do it after court?
Let's make
Be
sure we
great.
get our dollar.
Make sure we get our dollar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I don't even know if I want to touch it. I might just let you pass it to our treasurer. Yeah, so she can deposit it. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Next, guys, is time to talk about our courthouse renovation discussion. I just want to make sure that all of us are on the same page, along with the community, about our courthouse renovation. After our discussions, there's going to be some approvals for architectural firm and construction manager, surveying group, and a geotech group to be able to start doing some of this preliminary work as we work towards our renovation here. And we've done several things along the way on this project, so this is really nothing new. It goes back to the AOC, requesting, working with Judge Logue in requesting some additional space. The security factors, there's a lot of things that went in over the last few years to discuss this. And if you all remember, in 2018 budget year, the legislature approved to allow the AOC to move forward with us on the renovations of this building. And so I just want to make sure that we don't have any questions or comments that we want to make today, and have this discussion in open court so that everybody is aware of this project, and don't think that there's anything else to this project other than a circuit court renovation, and the need to grow circuit court and allow them to have more space. I've talked about the circuit court indictments in a lot of conversations, in a lot of my speeches. When you think about circuit court indictments 20 years ago, I think we had 107 in circuit court in 1996. And so today we have well over 1,000. I don't know what that number is today, but in circuit court with the same space, right? And so there is a need. There's a safety need in this building with our clerk's office, this building not really being secure, only having one metal detector to go into to get into the courtroom upstairs. The ADA compliance, has always been a factor with the elevator, and so it's just a great opportunity to partner with the AOC and do this project that the state tax dollars are paying for. It's not our actual local tax dollars that are paying for it.
That's one comment I was hoping you would make, Judge. This is a AOC, a legislative funding project, and not any county dollars will go into this project. It's renovating their courtroom, so possibly have two courtrooms going at one time, and alleviate some of the backup in the court system here in Madison County. So I think it's a great project. I'm thankful that we're getting funding from the state to move forward with it, and I'm moving forward with it.
Yeah. Is there any other comments that y'all might have, guys? We did work with Jared Carpenter, our senator, and at the time Jonathan Shell on the project when they put the appropriate language in the budget. That would have been 2018. It's a budget language. And so we're ready to get started. We've started having some preliminary meetings with Judge Lowe, Jenny, our county attorney, is on that little working group that we're working with the architects on, and so we just need to confirm some of those things today so that we can start moving forward, and really would love to try to break ground sometime in 2020 here in the next little bit. So is there anything else in the discussion part? If there is none, then I'll move on into the approving the architectural firm. At this time, it would be my recommendation to recommend and allow me to sign the contract and agreement with Integrity Architecture.
Was that bid out?
It was, Larry, whenever we originally did this several years ago, and we've already approved that. We don't have to bid out at professional services, but we did bid that out back in, I guess it was probably even before the legislature, it might even been in 17. And we got several different bids in, and Integrity was the lowest. We actually bid that project in two different forms. One was I can't remember what we called it. It was an architectural, like an evaluation of the building, It really goes in to see if this building would accommodate the needs of the AOC. And that was done at just a lump sum fee, which we already approved that several years ago. And then I also wanted to know what the percentages were of those architects at the time too, because I didn't want somebody to bid the evaluation low and then beef up their percentage. So I wanted to really get it. And integrity, right? And integrity was the lowest. Was the lowest bidder on that. And I can't remember. I'm sorry, I can't remember how many different architectural firms, but I think there's like 10. 7. So Integrity Architecture has done other projects with the AOC, and for the AOC. So we're excited about it. We've got a good relationship. We've already started meeting with them on some preliminary stuff. So if y'all would allow me in signing the agreement and the contract, and approving AOC as our architectural firm, I need a motion in a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any more discussion?
Only to say that this is quite the contract. It's 33 pages of, take your no-dos when you start reading, because there's a lot in it.
Yeah.
But it's,
Yeah, and all these AIA document contracts are, sort of they're that standard construction, remodel, new construction contracts in the commercial world. Yeah.
it's very in-depth, to say the least.
And I'm sure our counselor's read every one of them, or she will before.
She actually has, yeah. She's looked over. Now, I can't swear whether she's read it or not, all right? But she has got it. Yeah. Any other discussion about the approval of the architectural firm? Seeing none, call the roll, please.
Master Bocken?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger? Yes. Master Tudor?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next is the approval of the construction management firm. Guys, one of the things that sometimes construction managers will come later in this process, but I really want to get them involved up front, because that way that construction managers and the architects are working together from the beginning. And I've always said to construction managers, a lot of times they're the boots on the ground of a construction project, and so a lot of times they know just in experience, where to save money and where to be the best cost and best practice of doing things. And so that's one reason why we're going ahead and doing them along with the architect, because I really want to put our team together up front. We did our own internal interview process on construction management firms, and it's my recommendation to the court to allow or ask you all to approve D.W. Wilburn, Inc. As our construction management firm for the Madison County Courthouse renovation.
So moved.
Second.
They're well aware of Madison County, because they do a lot here.
And that's one of the things that excited me about them is when I called, again, this is a professional service. We don't have to bid it, but we like to do our due diligence and make sure internally that, we're getting the best bang for our buck. But I really loved their references and the other projects that they had done, and they've done some big projects. And when you can do some of those huge projects like that, and the person you're working for gives you a good reference, it means a lot. And so we're excited about their on this project.
Judge, I think that D.W. Wilburn Construction Company has done numerous of schools here in Madison County, and along with other projects well known throughout the state, and they're located in Lexington, right here close to us. So I think them working along with their architect group, and both companies coming together and putting their heads together. Sometimes you'll get a architect group and they'll design something, and then when you get with the construction, you'll say, well, that can't be done, I can't do that. But
Doesn't work.
if they do it up front and work together, I think it'll be a much better solution coming together with the project.
Yeah, I agree.
So
Any other?
for the 33 pages of the other one, it didn't begin to touch the 64 pages of this one. And, but there was one clause in it that I saw, I don't remember where it's at, and it'd take an hour to find it, but it was talking about, pretty much what John was just discussing. If the, contractor sees an improvement that could be made that would involve a savings to the counties, that those fees would be split. between
The owner
and
and
the
the
contractor.
uh-huh.
Is that standard language in them most of the time?
Yeah.
It's good.
Because that incentivizes
Yeah.
them, you know. That's the good part of it, you know, to have our best interests at heart. And then one of the things too is that, you know, like construction managers, he's overseeing a lot of different subs and different packages that'll be put together. You know, that's all part of the process. And there'll be those packages will be coming back to us for approval, you know. I mean, they'll be bidding out stuff. So there's a lot of involvement still yet after this with this court.
Good.
So this is just sort of the first step. So it's great. Good conversation, good questions. Anything else? Seeing none, I have a motion and a second already, so call the roll, please.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Buckin?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next is approval of a surveyor and of a geotech engineering firm for some things that need to be done here. We went ahead and got some estimates just to make sure that we're following our admin code. The geotech, we actually got 3 different bids, and then the survey, we ended up with 4 different bids. It's my recommendation, based off the bids, that we go with our very own our county surveyor, is actually an elected official, Spencer Land Surveying, to be the surveyor. So if y'all approve in that motion, that's a $3,900 bid on a topo survey of the courthouse space here, this courthouse lot. And so if y'all approve that, I need a motion in a second, please.
So move.
Second.
Y'all making me nervous there for a second. Yeah. Is there any
We're not
discussion?
used to having so many here that can vote.
Yeah. Is there any questions about this, guys?
Judge, there shouldn't be any question about the mapping of the courthouse that's been on this property for
For a long time.
almost 200 years. So, you know,
Yeah.
the deed should read the same right on through it, so there
Right.
shouldn't be any problem whatsoever.
Yeah, and again, there's not really a boundary survey. This is a topo survey of the grounds, because obviously you're really not going to change. It's in between streets, right?
Yeah.
So that's good. So motion and a second. We have a motion and a second. No more discussion. Call the roll.
Master Barger? Yes. Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Buckin?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes, and next, the geotech, I would recommend that we use Thoroughbred Engineering. They are a Kentucky company. They were the lowest bid on the geotech at $3,450. That's $3,450. The closest one that we had was $4,800, and that was a solid ground. And then the CSI was $4,900. So it'd be my recommendation that we go with Thoroughbred Engineering on the geotech, and I need a motion and a second if you approve.
So move.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, call the roll, please.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Buckin?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger? Yes. Judge Taylor?
Yes. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. Next is approval of the BGAD and the BGCA Memorandum of Understanding. Dustin is here to talk to us about that.
Morning, everybody. Yep, so this is one of our MOUs with the Army Depot and the chemical activity. This is for the meteorological stations and the meteorological data. Basically saying that their contractor will maintain those sites. They'll keep them up and running. There's 9 total sites, 4 in Madison County and 1 in Fayette County that come together. What this system does is, these are meteorological towers, about 30 foot tall. They give us data, meteorological data, that puts into the automated plume data system. So when we generate our exercise plumes, or if there were ever a real release, that data plugs into that system and provides us the accurate meteorological data we need to know where the plume would go.
pretty much the same thing as we've had year after year. I'm just here to ask the court's permission to allow Judge Taylor and I to sign this MOU.
I make that motion.
So we have a motion to allow Dustin and I to sign the memorandum of understanding between the Bluegrass Chemical Activity and the Bluegrass Army Depot as Dustin has presented. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, call the roll, please.
Master Buchan?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Dustin.
Yep.
Next is the approval of the self-contained breathing apparatuses. This is the, this is awarding the bid.
Yes, sir. This is a CSEP-funded project. We have, we had two bidders, 911 Fleet and Fire and Finley Fire Equipment / Bluegrass Fire Equipment. They provided us two bids. Both were satisfactory. Finley Fire Equipment presented us a bid with a lower cost when we compared equipment to equipment, which was $6,401 per unit. With that being said, on page 2, you'll see the breakdown using Finley Fire Equipment. This award is for 30 breathing apparatus, 30 cylinders, and then 30 masks. I apologize, I said 30 cylinders. It's going to be 36 cylinders. We had the funding through the program to provide 2 extra cylinders to each department. This is going to provide these cylinders to, or these air packs to Richmond, the Berea, and the Madison County Fire Departments. These are vital. These are what our firefighters utilize during a decon operation for the CSUP program. So it's a must-have. It's going to supplement what they have now, so that we can have our decontamination operations go for a longer period of time.
Okay.
Dustin, what's the life of these?
Chief, I think, are they 7 years now?
They have to be pressure tested every year, as long as they pass and hydros, it's 7 to 10 year life.
7 to 10?
Yeah.
Is this something you'll use after the D-mill's over with, Tim?
We use them every day. Any IDLH, which is immediate danger to life or health atmosphere, our guys have to have one on.
And part of this program, we are purchasing them to supplement their capabilities, but also we need them to use them every day because they need to be familiar with their operations.
And the public needs to know that this is CSEP money passed through that's paying for this, not
Yes, sir.
as tight as we are on money. This is something,
Yep.
things that we probably couldn't afford if it was on us.
Right.
Yeah, and it's enhancing the capability of all 3 of the organizations, all 3 jurisdictions.
Right.
And the total project on this is?
$194,040.
Okay.
Judge, I'd like to make a motion to give you permission to sign this agreement along with Dustin by the apparatuses for the CSEP program along with the county fire department.
And the only thing I'll add to that, just for the record, is that to award this bid to Finley Fire Equipment.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
Second.
So I have a motion. And I have a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, call the roll, please.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Buchan?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, Dustin. Appreciate it, buddy. Next is the approval of the 2020 holiday calendar. Y'all had, I assume y'all had a chance to look over this. I'll just read off to make sure that everybody's good with it. But we'll do New Year's Day, which will be Wednesday, January the 1st, 2020. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, Monday, January 20th, 2020. President's Day, Monday, February 17th, 2020. Good Friday, which is a spring holiday, and it's only half a day, which will be Friday, April the 10th, 2020. Memorial Day, Monday, May 25th, 2020. Independence Day, Friday, July 3rd, 2020. Labor Day will be Monday, September the 7th, 2020. Veterans Day, Wednesday, November 11th, 2020. Thanksgiving break will be that Thursday, Friday, November 26th and 27th of 2020. And then Christmas break will be Thursday and Friday, December 24th and December 25th, 2020. And then New Year's break will be Thursday, December 31st, 2020. If you all approve in our executive order or our 2020 holiday schedule, I need a motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, call the roll.
Master Barger? Yes. Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Bucking?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next is our approval of our 2020 fiscal court meeting schedule. I will not read all these because those are all on the second and the fourth Tuesday of every month. The first meeting of every odd month is always in Berea. And then in December, we always just do one meeting, just because of the holidays. And then I did make one change this year to actually hold the first meeting of the year on January the 7th, which would be the first Tuesday in January. It will still be in Berea, but our first meeting of the year will not be the second Tuesday. It will be the first Tuesday on January the 7th. If you all will approve our Madison County Fiscal Court 2020 court meeting schedule, I need a motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. No discussion. Call the roll, please.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Bucking?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Thanks, guys. Next are a few personnels. The first three different items there will be CSEP, and then we'll follow up with the road department. So Dustin will be up for our EOC techs, our logistics, and our database GIS administrator.
Yes. So I want to start off, these are CSEP funded positions. These positions are filling vacancies that we currently have needed to continue with our CSEP mission. So first off, first hire is Bobby Cole Baker. He's with us here today. He's going to be an EOC Technician 1, starting off at $16.41 an hour, and his start date is 10/23 of 19. So tomorrow, he will be reporting to second shift for our EOC operations. He'll be on days for about a week, and then we'll do we'll have some training and some introduction time, and then and after that week, he'll go to second shift. So I'll let you guys go with that.
Guys, if y'all approve in the hire of Cole Baker as one of our EOC techs, as Dustin has presented, I need a motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
So I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, call the roll, please.
Master Bucking?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Cole, thanks for being here, man. Appreciate it. All right. Yeah, look forward to working with you.
So our second one is Jacob Steiner. This is actually a promotion to a new position. He is going to be, he was a 911 telecommunicator. He's going to be an EOC Technician 1. Going to start off at $16.41 an hour. His start date is November 13th, 2019. He will report to first shift for the first week and then to second shift thereafter. So with your permission to hire him.
So
Okay.
moved.
Second.
So I have a motion and a second to hire Jacob Steiner as a EOC Tech 1, which this is a promotion, as presented by Dustin Heiser. No more discussion. Call the roll, please.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Bucking?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes.
All right.
And guys, just want to make one announcement. Some of them couldn't be here. They're actually at their other jobs
Yes.
that they
Yes.
couldn't be here.
Yeah. Jacob was working in our next one. Also, is not able to attend. He's at his
So,
job
sorry.
now.
Go ahead, Dustin.
Nope, you're fine. Thank you. So our next new hire is Ryan McBride. He is a new hire. He's going to be an EOC Technician 1, starting off at $16.41 an hour. His start date is going to be November the 6th, 2019. He'll be on first shift for a week and then reporting to third shift after that.
So moved.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second to hire Ryan McBride as an EOC Tech, as Dustin has presented. No more discussion. Call the roll.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Bucking?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you. Next, Dustin is the EMA. This is a logistics officer.
Yes, and I'll go back just to let the court know, EOC technicians, they are folks that work in our emergency operations center allow us to man that facility 24/7. They take those phone calls, they train, they're prepared to set off the alarms any hour of the day in
Right.
case there is a release. So I wanted to put that out there. The next position is our logistics officer. This position is the individual who kind of coordinates our building maintenance, our vehicle maintenance. They do the CSEP field decon operations. So that's their background and knowledge. So we asked the court's permission to promote to a new position Andy Woolham. He is currently a light equipment operator, promoting him to logistics officer. Proposed salary or hourly wage is $18.88 an hour. Start date of November the 13th, 2019.
Move to promote Andrew Willem, logistic officer.
So I have a motion to promote Andrew Woolham to logistics officer. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion second. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, call the roll, please.
Master Tudor,
Yes.
Master Bakken,
Yes.
Master Combs,
Yes.
Master Berger. Yes. Judge Taylor.
Yes.
And he also couldn't make it. He's working.
Yeah, he's at
Yep.
the road department.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the next position is our database GIS administrator. This individual is going to work out of the IT office. Majority of the time report to Chris, but they'll also work out of the EOC. We are in need of moving our checklist, of which we have numerous amounts, our vehicle checkoffs, a lot of things we're wanting to move to the global search platform that the county is using, and CSEP has paid for some of. So in order to do that, we needed an individual to take care of that. On top of that, his role will also be to support us in the EOC with the GIS operations. So making sure our maps are ready, no matter what type of the event is.
Right.
So he will work with us on holidays and disasters in that situation. So I asked the court's permission to hire Morris Salone, who is with us here in the back, as our database GIS administrator. Like I said, he'll report to Chris. Salary is $38,500, and his start date is October the 23rd, 2019, which is,
October 23rd.
did I say November?
Yeah.
Sorry. I have it written, October 23rd, 2019.
10/23?
Yes, 10/23, which is tomorrow.
Okay. Start date 10/23/19, because in your all's packets, it might say 11/13, guy. Does it? No.
It's been changed.
Okay. All right. I need a motion and a second if you all approve in hiring Morris Sloan as our database GIS administrator through our CSEP program, and we'll be reporting to Chris Israel.
Motion to hire Morris Sloan as stated.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. No discussion. Call the roll, please.
Master Bakken,
Yes.
Master Combs.
Yes.
Master Berger. Yes. Master Tudor.
Yes.
Judge Taylor.
Yes.
Thank you all.
Thanks, Morris. Look forward to working with you. See you tomorrow. Yeah. Don't be late. No pressure. No pressure. Next is personnel in the road department. Hi, buddy.
Hey, we'd like to hire Billy Pence, start date of 10/23/19, his starting pay would be $14 an hour as a CDL truck driver.
So move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to hire Billy Pence as presented by Scott Shepherd, our road department administrator.
Scott, has he worked for us before?
He has. He actually left us, went to Highway Department, State Highway Department. He's worked for them for a brief period and decided he would like to come back.
Yep. Well, obviously we just really, I guess, lost one, and we gained one.
Yeah, we didn't gain anything.
But
We're back where we was.
Yeah,
We're still
and we're
short.
still full short. Yep. Yep. All right. So we have a motion and a second. Seeing no more discussion, call the roll.
Master Combs.
Yes.
Master Berger. Yes. Master Tudor.
Yes.
Master Bakken.
Yes.
Judge Taylor.
Yes. Thanks, Scott. Appreciate it. I've got a few announcements today during the judge's report. Trick-or-treat times for all Madison County, including the cities of Richmond and Berea, will be Thursday, October the 31st from 6 until 8 p.m. Please be mindful of trick-or-treaters if you are out that evening. There will be a chili supper benefiting Madison County Special Olympics on Friday, November the 1st from 6 until 9 p.m. at the First United Methodist Church on West Main Street here in Richmond. The Richmond Kiwanis Club is hosting their annual pancake breakfast on Saturday, November the 2nd from 8 to 11 a.m. at the First Baptist Church on the EKU bypass. The proceeds will benefit the Madison Central Marching Band's trip to this year's Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade and the Madison Central Key Club. Don't forget Election Day is Tuesday, November the 5th. Polls are open from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. If you have any questions regarding your polling place or ballot, please contact the Madison County Clerk's office, and I'm sure that Kenny might talk about that here in a minute. Daylight savings time ends at 2 a.m. on Sunday, November the 3rd, so be sure to turn back your clocks. Richmond Chamber of Commerce 2019 Awards Banquet will be Thursday, November 7th at EKU's King Johnson Building beginning at 6 p.m. Contact the Richmond Chamber of Commerce if you're interested in going. And then also, the annual Farm City Banquet will be Monday, November the 11th from 6 until 8 p.m. at the Madison County Extension Office on Duncannon Lane. Please contact the Extension Office for tickets. No tickets will be sold at the door. That's my report for today. Comments from the magistrates. Tom?
Judge, I just want to start out by thanking everyone who called and offered their prayers and support while I was out there for a couple of weeks. It was a pretty rough 3 weeks, and I certainly appreciate everybody's support when they did that. And of course, with being out for that length of time, I'm behind on my calls. I followed the doctor's orders during that time frame, and I took off. So I'm about 3 weeks behind in following up on calls. So if you have called me, and there's been many that have, I just want you to know that I will call you back. I'm working on that list now. So please just be patient. I will get back to you. I want to thank Brandon over at the State Garage for continuing to work on projects that through the summer that we have given him. They finally smoothed out the roughness spot out on Interstate 75, and if you're going south past Duncannon, you know where I'm talking about. So anyway, we appreciate that. I've seen a lot in the 4th District in different places where they're cutting back on the roadsides and clearing the right-of-ways, and they've done a great job on that, especially down in Larry and both of our areas down on 21. They've got that cleared and cut back really good. I want to take just a second to thank Willie and Scott and the road department down there. You guys continue to just chip away on our projects, and of course we're all continually adding to that list, and we appreciate your support in helping us complete all of those. Along with that, we should have more blacktop coming this week, we hope. Is that correct? Blacktop coming this week? All right, blacktop coming this week for the 4th District. That should be out on Menelus. So we look forward to getting that done. That's been a long time coming. I'll just tell you ahead of time, if you live on, depending where you live on that, part of your road may not get blacktop, because we run out of money on that, and I mean, that's just the way it's been for the last year or two. We blacktop until the money runs out, and then we stop. And so where it stops, we'll try to finish that up next year. But we are getting a good part of it. If you're coming from 25, it goes about a quarter of a mile past the bridge. So everybody will know where that's at. The small bridge, that is, not the state bridge. I also want to take a second to thank Joey Howard for getting the fence put up. We've been now 4 years trying to get a fence put up on Menelus, and I did get some calls on that. Folks just, continuing the court's efforts on continuing with that, and so I appreciate Joey and them getting to that and getting that taken care of. I also want to thank the residents that live over on Possum Kingdom that gave us the right-of-way to fix that curve over there. We've been after that project, Larry and I, for several years now, and that's getting done, and hopefully that'll get finished up this week, correct? Is that what we're hoping for? So, barring any weather, we should get that done. I've driven across it, man, it's just fantastic. And if you've ever been across there before, you know how dangerous it was, and that's a place that's really going to help our residents out over there. We appreciate those folks working with us on that. I had another note here, but I don't know what it means to myself, so I'm just gonna skip that one. Oh, no, I know what it means. We talked about it today. We've talked about it in past courts. And I just want to say that in the future, as we go forward, that that the court, all of us magistrates, the judge, we're gonna do what we have to do to pay the bills. We're just like you at your house. Each month, you balance your checkbook, and each month, we're obligated to balance the checkbook. And that's what Glenna does, and that's what we're gonna do, and we're gonna fund that. So, you know, there's things that you're gonna see, there's suggestions that you're gonna hear. You know, we do appreciate, I appreciate our 4th District residents calling with ideas on things that we can do and things that we have done, and Lord knows there's been plenty of them over the last couple of months. And I appreciate that, and I want you to continue doing that. If you think that there's things as you see our work sessions as we go forward and other things for ideas to help us generate funds to pay the bills, because we're gonna pay the bills. And so one way or another, however that turns out. Also wanted to just thank you for mentioning it, Judge. November the 4th coming up, Tuesday. Please vote on November the 5th. November the 5th, thank you. Please vote. There's soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines in every country on the face of this earth. Some won't come home this year. Some will never come home. And we don't want their sacrifices to be in vain. So please exercise your right to vote. And that's it for me. If you need me, you can reach me at 200-9765.
Thanks, Tom. John?
Tom kind of mentioned the blacktopping there. I think most of it's done in the 3rd District. Bend Road, if it hadn't been blacktopped in the last couple of days, is scheduled to be blacktopped this fall. Alan's going to be doing that. So if you're down there and they're working, be patient and let them through. And it's kind of a narrow road, but it's in need of blacktop, and it's several people, residents live down that road. Just like to mention that we've got several calls on culverts and potholes still, and we're trying to work on them on a daily basis. Gonna miss Andrew Woolham down at the road department. We glad we got a Billy Pence coming on, but we're still 3 or 4 employees short down there, so be patient with us if we don't get right to your project just when you expect us to. Thursday, October 24th, the First Christian Church from 6 to 8 is, I think that's the same night they have a hoedown in Richmond or something on Thursday night.
I'm not sure.
Is having a trunk or treat for trick or treat that night up at in the parking lot at First Christian Church. They're going to be handing out candy, and they're going to have a huge bowl pot of chili. So stop by and enjoy a little fellowship and let the kids get a little trick or treat candy that night. That's Thursday, 6 to 8 at First Christian Church. That's all I got.
Thanks, buddy. Rod?
The only question I got is for Rachel. Pay attention. Flu shots and hep shots, do we know if anybody's coming or a date or anything to give?
Alicia sent one up just a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
That it came through, but we can look into getting another if you'd like.
Okay, appreciate it. That's all I got.
Thanks, Ross. I'll make a note too, just to make sure y'all get that information. Sorry, Larry. It's you, buddy. Glad you're back.
Judge, I'm just glad to be back. I'm glad Tom's back. And other than that, I'm just glad to be here.
Glad you're here, man. Yeah, glad you're feeling better. Kenny?
Yeah, I'll touch on, again, y'all heard the date, Tuesday, November 5th, but we're doing walk-in absentee up until the day before, so anybody that's gonna be out of town, has medical reasons they can't stand in line, anything like that at the polls, they can come in here and vote before election day and get that taken care of. We're open 8 to 4:30.
Sounds good. Is that it? You good?
Yep.
Jenny?
No, sir.
Sherry?
No,
Jay Tussle? All right, thanks, guys. The comments from the audience. Anybody from the audience? Seeing none, I need a motion to pay the claims and approve the transfers.
So move.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Botkin?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. The next meeting is November the 12th, 2019. That will be in Berea. Again, that's November the 12th, 2019. That fiscal court meeting will be in Berea. I need a motion and a second to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Bucking?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes.